sometimes what we do, actually what we always do in the post game, is we do the gulag segment. And this is the segment that I know, if it hasn't already, actually it did. I remember one time, one guy, I saw like one of those like, hey, you should check out the Michael Brooks show. They're doing really good content or whatever, in one of these kind of like not left spaces. And the response was like, they do a segment called The Gulag, so I think I'll pass. And I just want to say to like, let me do on the serious end, when Matt Taibbi was in here with us talking about actual gulags, I felt kind of guilty about the segment. On the other hand, for the humor challenged, this is a joke. And us doing a segment where we make fun of some asshole, or actually occasionally real, genuine, almost history-grade monsters, is not equivalent to putting people in a gulag. And third, I just want to make something really clear. If I was in charge of a global socialist superstate, we would not have gulags. I am much more a fan, although not in all ways, obviously, but I got to say, and I would do it in a more gentle and more compassionate way, but I think Chairman Mao's instinct to send people to just do some yard work. I'm very sympathetic to. Don't you see some people, like, especially like, I know that's also a tasteless joke, but don't you, like, if you see, I mean, let's just take the easiest example in the world. When you see Jonathan Chait, you know, fire off one of his like, well, actually, you know, if you sold kids blood at the properly regulated environment, that might give an incentive to create more magnet schools. And you just think to you could see like Mao hurt and abused many. It was a proxy. It was a way to maneuver political opponents. It was a way to purge people. All of this is true. And I love our historical moment right now, and in terms of media, because I know like right now there's one group of people there's one group of people, the cool people and the patrons, who are laughing and getting it. And then there's one group of people who are like, oh, they're joking about Mao's crimes. And then there's another group of people who are like, Chairman Mao was awesome. This is a fucking CIA show. And all of that's happening. But that being said, just the basic instinct to just look at a Jonathan Chait and be like, you should go do some yard work.
You may need some re-education.
I think you ought to go get some air, and you ought to work on some rice. You know? It's a good goddamn instinct. So that would be much more the direction I would go in than a gulag. That being said, we still do the gulag segment, and tonight's nominee is Bill Maher, okay? Let's play this. Yeah, let's go.
Herein lies a chance for Amazon to show the world that a tech company can actually do good. We have a problem in America called spatial geographic inequality, which means that the most affluent and educated people are clustered in just a few cities. Last year, Hillary Clinton said, I won the places that represent 2/3 of America's gross domestic product. I won the places that are optimistic, diverse, dynamic, moving forward. Yes, you did. And maybe that has something to do with why Trump voters are obsessed with owning the libs, because the libs own everything else. The blue parts of America are having a big prosperity party, while that big sea of red feels like their invitation got lost in the mail. And they still use the mail. They turn on the TV and all the shows take place in a few hip cities. There's no Real Housewives of Toledo or CSI Lubbock. There are no red carpets in Wyoming, and no one ever asks you, who are you wearing? Because the answer is always Target. There are two Americas, and it seems like one is where all the cool jobs are.
Pause it. So this is basically just a Trump re-elect ad that all of these idiots are producing together. But go ahead.
And it seems like one is where all the cool jobs are, where people drive Teslas and eat artisanal
Oh,
ice
my
cream.
God.
We have orchestras and theater districts and world-class shopping. We have Chef Wolfgang Puck. They have Chef Boyardee.
All right. Okay. So let's take this in a serious way. Okay. Which I can barely do with Bill Maher. But first of all right. There's actually a much more, the accurate way of understanding the world is not red versus blue states, but inequalities in center and peripheries within each state, right? So as an example, Connecticut, I don't know if it's still the case. It might have switched to California, but I know of a couple years ago, Connecticut was the most unequal state in the country because it has a place like Greenwich, which has awe-inspiring wealth, and then it also has totally racially segregated and deindustrialized zones like Bridgeport, which completely lack for opportunity. The other thing is a lot of the places, and look, I'm concerned, of course, about the working class and disadvantaged people of all backgrounds, period, full stop. But it is fucking amazing. If you want to split the world into red and blue, Democrats, Republicans, you want to have that surface level lame ass analysis to so fundamentally disrespect and disregard some of the prime recipients of oppression, lack of opportunity, and I'll stop bearing the lead, racism in red states, which are people like African American voters, which vote blue but live in economically impoverished zones in red states at times and experience all sorts of ongoing police, environmental, and every type of repression. So this is just an insane, demented, stupid way of looking at the world. Everybody on that panel is doing their best to validate Steve Bannon's propaganda. And if we don't escape from that smug delusion and create a real just world based not on brand identification, but on real solidarity and empathy, those motherfuckers are going to continue to win. Okay? And that's how it is. And as I say in conclusion, Bill Maher sentenced to the gulag, or I definitely field work for him. And I would humbly like to submit myself as his official replacement on Real Time on HBO. I think I would do a much better job. Thank you. Okay. I could do that. Just have the same okay, you can't invade Venezuela, okay? Something with a pot analogy, okay?
Also, Wolfgang Puck is in every airport,
right?
Bullshit resort across the country.
That's
so I
also
don't even
true.
know what the fuck he's talking
That's
about.
also true. That's also true. You just enjoyed that Michael Brooks Show video, and you can get a lot more by subscribing to us here at the Michael Brooks Show YouTube channel. It's literally right there.